Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about Fright Night 2, New Blood. This movie came out back in 2013. And, right off the bat, I just want to say I haven't seen the original Fright Night movies, but I did see the remake with Colin Farrell. And, the title is a little bit confusing. You'd think it's a direct-to-DVD sequel of the Colin Farrell remake, but it's really more of just another remake type of thing in and of itself. Because they take some of the characters from the remake and the original series and sort of turn them into their own things again. So it is what it is, though. That part doesn't matter to me too much, but the main reasons why I checked out this movie is, well, because I'm a horror movie fan, so I'm gonna watch it. I love vampires when they're done right. And also the main selling point for me, though, ended up being the fact that Jaime Murray is the main vampire in this movie, as Gerri Dandridge, or in a way Elizabeth Báthory, I think her name was. Let me just see if I can find that. Let's see, yeah, Báthory. And this movie, I did buy it on Blu-ray, by the way. So I got the unrated Blu-ray edition here. It has the DVD with it too. Pretty cool cover, I think. The main reason I bought it was pretty much solely for Jaime Murray. I really loved her on Dexter. She was on Dexter season 2 as Lila West, and I thought she was absolutely great in that role, acting-wise. And so I always wanted to see more of her, and so to check her out as in a horror movie, was kind of a duh for me. And there's always that joke in Dexter of Deb calling her a vampire, because of how, pale she kind of was. Turns out she's actually a vampire in this. And overall, the movie, it's okay. It's not great, but at the same time, what I watched this movie for, it really delivered on. And that's Jaime Murray. Before we talk about her, though, let's just get the general plot out of the way. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. And it's sort of, it's very similar to the remake and, a couple of the other movies and, movies we've all seen before. Basically, a group of friends, Charlie, Ed, and Amy are exchange students in Romania. And, of course, Charlie, apparently sometime before the movie, he cheated on Amy, or they don't really explain it that well, or they explain it for about 5 seconds once in a while. But apparently, a friend of Amy's, seen Charlie kissing another girl somewhere or something. So Charlie tries to say he didn't actually cheat on her. I don't know. That's just a setup, okay? So Charlie's trying to reconcile with Amy, and Ed's sort of the douchebag best friend. And, he's evil Ed, he's called evil and stuff, and, he's a character that's sort of constantly there in a lot of these Fright Night movies. Like I said, I haven't seen the originals, but, evil Ed's a character fans have emphasized from these movies for sure. And, he's that sort of he's a dick of a best friend, he's joking about Amy being free game, after about a week of Charlie trying to make up with her. But at the same time, you can see he still does, kind of care about Charlie as a friend and stuff, but it kind of is what it is, I guess. So you have that going on throughout the movie. That's just more of the backdrop, and Charlie, he just ends up seeing this woman, across the street in another hotel or a room type of thing. She's sort of getting a little bit intimate with a woman, and then he sees blood being drawn from this woman's body. And so, of course, that really starts throwing him off, because, of course, this whole Romania thing that they're visiting, they're telling all these stories of Vlad Tepish, and I probably just sound really stupid saying it that way, but that's what happens when I try to pronounce things correctly. I apologize. But, of course, with Romania, there's all these stories that they are told about, Vlad the Impaler, and then they hear about a woman named Elizabeth Báthory, which I'll talk about more in a few minutes. And so because of this, he's very paranoid about vampires and things like that. And it turns out that the professor they're going to be sort of learning from, Gerri Dandridge, played by Jaime Murray, is the same woman Charlie's seen in that other room across the street. Of course, very big coincidence. And it's kind of the setup, and throughout the rest of the movie, it's Charlie trying, seeing like more and more signs of her being a vampire, like seeing her with more people. Gerri sort of taunting him as it goes along. Sort of saying, "Oh, yeah, I know you enjoyed what you've seen," and things like that. And Gerri just toys with the characters for a lot of the movie too. And there's not too much more I need to explain about the plot other than that. But of course, I'll kind of tell you about like the final part of it, like Gerri's main goal. It's apparently that she needs to bathe in the blood of a new moon virgin, and apparently, the way I understood it, apparently if she did this successfully, then she'd be able to walk in the sunlight. She'd still be a vampire, but she could walk in the sun and not have to, conceal herself quite as much in that sense. And then turns out she'd also need to have this new moon virgin, kill someone that person loves, and of course that ends up being tied to Amy and Charlie. So that's the general plot. I'll talk more about it in a few minutes. I'll at least talk about how it ends. Then you also have Peter Benson. He's this guy doing reality shows, sort of like ghost hunters and things like that, except for vampires, but he does other supernatural stuff too. And, he's just a fake, he's a fraud, but he ends up being roped into all this too. They end up trying to hire him to look into Gerri, and it's kind of fun. He's, it's a comedy horror type of movie, but at the same time, he's probably the least serious character in the movie. So he's semi-entertaining, I guess. Peter Benson, anyway. And I know, let me think for a split second. Yeah, David Tennant played Peter Vincent in the Colin Farrell movie. But, I wasn't too heartbroken not to see him in this one. Even though I did really like him as, of course, Kilgrave and Jessica Jones, but... it is what it is. I thought Sean Power did a fine job as Peter Vincent for what it was, I guess. And like I said, the movie overall was okay, but what really made it anything to me was, for sure, Jaime Murray as Gerri. And, the rest of the cast did okay, too. Will Payne plays Charlie. He does an okay job, average. And same thing with the rest of them. Sasha Parkinson, she's fine as Amy. The guy who plays Evil Ed, he's fine in the role. It's all just okay, but not, great or anything. Except for Jaime Murray, like I said. She just really plays every part of this vampire character really well, I thought. She even kind of exceeded my expectations going into it. As much as I like her as an actress, she really just excelled in this role as a vampire. So I guess Deb was right about it in Dexter. She really plays off this, she really has this great, I'll say, sex appeal in the role. She has to be, like, very seductive and very charming when she's going about how she usually carries herself as she's kind of masquerading as Gerri. She's really Elizabeth Báthory. And, yeah, the part about her actually being Elizabeth Báthory actually kind of made the character kind of interesting to me, honestly. Elizabeth Báthory, I looked into her a little bit, and we hear a little bit about her in the movie. She's basically a very notorious serial killer, quite a long time ago, obviously. And her, and I guess she had a couple people that worked with her too, but she is at least partially or like all responsible for killing like over 600 women before she's finally caught and imprisoned before she died. And then her grave was actually moved, or her resting place, and then apparently her final resting place isn't known right now. So that's a little bit creepy. So I kind of liked how they tied it into that. And there's actually a moment where I'll keep calling her Gerri though, or Gerri or Jaime Murray. She finds out that Amy is this new moon virgin she needs, and she actually gets a little bit emotional. She gets a little bit teary-eyed when she starts saying she's the one. So even though she's not really a redeemable character, obviously I just talked about what she was before she, or in her actual history. So you can't really like sympathize with her, but in a way I kind of did, just because I could see how much she wanted to walk in the sun. That a part of her probably does kind of miss being able to do that and go about an actual life in a way too. I don't know. They didn't really explore that too much, but at the same time I do kind of get it. But you can tell she also just does love the joy of the hunt. She loves what she does, and we see that she has to feed to sort of retain her more younger, beautiful appearance. We see her as an older woman once in a while, and then she bathes in the blood of young women. Then she comes back out looking like Jaime Murray, which is nice. Jaime Murray, she's very beautiful, obviously, and stuff. So yeah, so the Gerri character is actually interesting to me. Now let's talk about how it ends up concluding. Evil Ed ends up being infected, so Charlie has to fight him. And of course, with the part of the ritual that has to happen with the Virgin, having killed someone that person loves, Gerri tries to get Amy to kill Charlie, and she ends up turning him, and then they both kind of try and fight off Gerri, but I actually like that they were never really able to beat Gerri in this movie. I thought that was pretty accurate to what it should be, for the most part at least. I thought at times Gerri could have caught him a little, caught everyone a little bit quicker than she did. But again, I think she kind of liked the thrill of the hunt, and there's even a point where she catches up to him in a car, and she tells Charlie, if I would want you dead, you would have been dead already. So, I kind of like that line about it. I think that was pretty true. Because obviously she needed to keep Charlie alive, to actually be killed by Amy or something, so. Let's see. Charlie acts like he stakes himself, but he actually doesn't let it go through his heart. So his wound heals. And that sort of makes Gerri think, oh yeah, now the ritual is ruined, what am I gonna do? And Peter Vincent actually shows up, and he stakes Gerri with this sword that he got from one of his props or something, which is kind of funny. But he ends up missing her heart. And Charlie actually ends up using this, high-powered screech type thing. And, he shatters all the windows, and, Gerri ends up being exposed to sunlight and, being burned to a crisp, basically, and, going into goop. And, of course, with the Vampire Overlord destroyed, Charlie and Amy finally reconcile, and because that Gerri is killed the night she turned Amy, and, it kind of reversed everything she did, with turning them and stuff, so, that's kind of how it ends. But in a way, I'll be honest, I was kind of rooting for Gerri, Jaime Murray in this one. I just thought she was an awesome vampire and a lot more interesting than, the regular characters we had. So I was actually kind of wanting her to win. And, another thing, I was reading some more behind-the-scenes stuff about this movie, and I guess they had an idea at one point that they were actually going to have, like, the opening scene at the end of the movie, which would have been either, like, Charlie seeing her in the window with another woman again, or, maybe it would have been, like, Gerri walking into class the next day again or something as their professor, which would have been, pretty eerie and creepy. I would have loved that. If they had that as the last scene, I think that would have really just made the movie. But because they just ended with a kiss between the two, it just kind of felt like there should have been something else there. So in my mind, Gerri or Elizabeth Báthory, Jaime Murray's vampire, would come back at some point. That's kind of how I see it going anyway. But if they had actually had that scene, I think that would have just really sold it up to me all the way, for sure. And another kind of cool note about this movie, Jaime Murray's pretty dedicated, pretty dedicated actress. Because I read this story, let me see if I can find it again. I read it last night, but I don't want to get the details wrong. Let me just go to IMDb real quick. Yeah. The film was actually, shot on location in Romania, and it was during the winter, so temperatures sort of lingered around, negative 15 degrees or so Fahrenheit. And there's actually a point where I think Jaime Murray is filming some kind of scene outside, and she just kept on wanting, she just wanted to finish the scene. But you noticed the crew noticed she was getting signs of hypothermia, so I had to pull her out and kind of finish it, indoors somewhere, I think it was. But I kind of admire Jaime Murray's dedication. I think that's a pretty cool behind the scenes note. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just read you what they have on the wiki here. Filming took place over a month, from November to December. Temperatures frequently lingered from around -15, which caused a variety of problems. Cast and crew members shook and shivered the whole time. Cameras ceased to operate as the weather froze them. The gas station explosion, which is sort of like the opening thing at the beginning of the movie, we see it's probably Gerri, as she's still trying to retain her youthful appearance. She attacks the old woman at the gas station, which I thought was actually kind of an intense sequence, and we get this kind of cool shot in like a mirror, like the camera, the way it sees, it's just this girl being flung around, because of course the vampire doesn't appear and things like that. In most stories anyway. There's some that kind of go off from that, but yeah. But anyway, back to the filming outside thing. And during pivotal sequence in a swimming pool, which is sort of like the bloodbath, that she is trying to do with the ritual and stuff. Actresses Sasha Parkinson, who is Amy, and Jaime Murray were so cold that the filmmakers halted production. I just wanted to finish a scene, but I decided I had to stop it because I was going into hypothermia, said Murray. My mouth was chattering so much that I could see it on camera. I was like, can we just have one more take? And they were like, no, you've got to get out of the bath. I don't know, it's kind of funny, but that must have been really tough working in that the whole time on location, though, for sure. So I definitely give more credit to the actors here, especially Jaime Murray and the other main characters, I guess, but especially her. I just think that was really cool. And, of course, we also used like a mix of practical and CGI effects, which I think looked, pretty good for the most part. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the movie. I actually end up liking a good amount. Like I said, the movie itself, it's average. But at the same time, I just think Jaime Murray really excelled as Gerri Dandridge, or Elizabeth Báthory as the vampire. I just think she was great in the role. Really oozed the sex appeal of what she was trying to show. At the same time, she kind of brought some intrigue to the character, and the writing with it was a little bit better than I expected. Sorta. But I really liked her as a vampire, and I do wish they would have had like that last scene of her being seen again to show that she was still alive. And I think, they're kind of making her out to be like this powerful or one of the oldest vampires ever, sort of like Dracula. So I think she probably would come back at some point anyway. But if they had that scene actually in the movie, it would have really, just brought it all forward for me. But still, I really did enjoy it a little bit more than I thought I would. Is it the best vampire movie I've ever seen? No. It's not on the level of like Stakeland or 30 Days of Night, really, but I'd say as like this type of like slasher horror comedy type of movie. It's not really a slasher so much, but as this like more of a regular vampire movie, I don't think it's bad. I've definitely seen worse for sure. So yeah, I overall did like it. Jaime Murray really made it for me, and I'm mostly glad I have it. So yeah, plenty of violence and blood in this too, by the way. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the movie if you've seen it. And I was looking at a lot of stuff on IMDb. It looks like a lot of people actually sort of preferred this to the Colin Farrell movie. And I thought the Colin Farrell movie, I seen it. It was okay. It was decent, but I think I might have actually liked this one a little bit better. But yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Movie Pilot, and look for InSpoiledDead.com. Catch you guys next time. I'm going to try to review Fear the Walking Dead, even though I'm not that interested, but we'll see how it goes. Catch you guys for that, and peace.